The Bachelorette recap, which 4 guys will get to take Becca to their hometowns. 6 guys head to the Bahamas with Becca Kufrin on the July 9th episode of The Bachelorette, but only 4 are moving on. Here's our recap of how it all goes down. This week's episode of The Bachelorette takes Becca Kufrin and her 6 remaining guys, Blake, Garrett, Colton, Jason, Leo and Wills, to the Bahamas. This is a big week, considering Becca will narrow the group down to 4, whose families she will meet in next week's episode. Becca is falling for more than one of her remaining suitors at this point, and she chooses Colton for the first one-on-one date of the trip. The date begins with a romantic day on the water, but Colton is admittedly nervous about a conversation he knows he has to have with Becca. He's ready to tell her he's a virgin. His confession is interrupted when they're approached for some epic snorkeling, and throughout the day, the physical connection between Colton and Becca is beyond obvious. Finally, over dinner, Colton opens up about his secret, and is left devastated when Becca leaves the table and tells him she needs a minute. When she returns, though, she lets Colton know that she appreciates his honesty, which is what she's wanted from the guys all along. She gives Colton the rose, and lets him know she cannot wait to meet his family. The next date goes to Garrett, and begins with a romantic seaplane ride to a private beach. Becca admits she's falling for Garrett, but is worried that he doesn't challenge or push her enough, and wants to know their relationship is deeper than something strictly physical. Becca dives into Garrett's past by asking more about what things were like when he was with his ex-wife. Garrett lets Becca know he's falling in love with her, and the deep conversation is just what she needed to be assured that she's learning all the sides of Garrett. At the end of the date, she gives him the rose. The night's last one-on-one date goes to Blake. They spend time strolling down the beach, and are treated to a beach party and entertainment provided by Bahamas. Becca and Blake share a special, intimate moment on a private beach. Becca confesses that she's starting to feel empathy for Ari Luang Jr. and how he could have fallen for 2 people, which leaves Blake worried that she's really falling for other guys besides him. Becca urges Blake to open up more about his family as the date continues. He discusses his parents' divorce, which stemmed from his mother's affair with his basketball coach and English teacher. He expresses his desire to be open and honest with the family he brings up, and Becca is completely on the same page with him when it comes to raising kids. Becca and Blake's conversation definitely proves that they have similar views for the future, and he ends the conversation by being the first to tell Becca he's in love with her. It's no surprise when she gives him the rose afterward. Meanwhile, in a confessional, Becca admits she's in love with Blake, too. That leave Wills, Leo and Jason left for the group date. Becca and Wills bond over the similarities in their families, and Jason gushes over the deep connection he feels for the Bachelorette. Meanwhile, Leo is worried that he can't offer Becca the same kind of lifestyle the other guys can. He admits to Becca that he doesn't feel like their relationship is as far along as what she has with some of the other guys. She appreciates his honesty, but is also worried about the lack of confidence in their relationship. After their intense conversation, Becca sends Leo home on the spot. Later that night, Becca delves further into her relationships with Wills and Jason by having more one-on-one conversations with each of them. By the end of the evening, she can see a future with both Jason, who she feels strongly for, but isn't sure if he's on that same page, and Wills, who's told her he's all in with the relationship. She goes with Jason for her final hometown date, sending Wills home before meeting his family.